And let us bow our heads tonight and pray for our country. Pray for the healing that needs to take place after all these months of campaigning. And pray as grateful people that we have the ability to choose our leaders. Be mindful of the fact that we too were chosen to be leaders. Bring before us the image of the people that we serve. And help us to remember that for each and every one of them, our choices are for right decisions that help to make their lives better as we make our community better. Bless all of our undertakings, direct our thoughts, and lead us as we meet tonight to plan for the greater glory of you, our God, and the betterment of this community. For this prayer and every prayer we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Okay, is there any additions to the agenda this evening?
I'd like to have a 15-minute executive session on the police department for council and mayor and legal.
Adam?
The only thing I have is number 2, whether or not you want to have that open or executive session.
Probably depends on what it pertains to. Number 2, Dawn.
You just have dollars and cents on what 3 men versus 4 men, right?
John is supposed to.
Did I put that in your packets?
No.
So do you want an executive session on that? Should we have an
If
executive
we're just doing dollars and cents, I don't think it makes a difference, but at least to look at it. As long as are you making, I guess it depends if you're making a decision tonight. If you need to discuss some personnel changes or issues with that, then you might want to go in executive session if you're looking at scheduling or how you're going to schedule or what you're going to do in that regard.
And that's what I was asking. There was discussion last time of keeping that in executive session.
There's no need.
Okay.
Troy, does this need to be moved up here? Ahead of everything? No, okay.
Okay.
What it was.
Is there any more additions? Yes,
Can't
ma'am.
believe y'all was away on me.
Executive session for non-elected personnel.
I don't know if Troy and I are sharing the same one or not. We can probably start off by using the same one to address the issue I need to address regarding. But then we do need one for acquisition of real estate for probably 10 minutes.
Under your deal?
Wherever, that can go wherever.
Yeah.
I just got to
Okay.
report on
10
something.
minutes, Dawn.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
That's the reason,
Start with 10 and
Okay.
Dawn, that's the reason I was asking if Troy might want to put that ahead of, right after maybe fire department.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But I don't know what.
Probably it ought to go at the very front of the police department.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any more additions?
Move to accept the changes.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say aye. Consent agenda, Donna.
Approve minutes of the regular meeting, October 16th, 2012. Approve appropriation ordinance 1106-2012 in the amount of $75,778.56. Approve mayor's appointment of Trish Coleman to the library board, and approve the use of the skating rink for elementary PE classes January 3rd and 4th and 7th through the 11th from 12:35 to 2:15 p.m.
Okay, on number 3, Donna. Did do Kevin appoint her?
No, you
No, you only mayor can appoint.
you can only
Okay.
appoint,
But I thought the only one I could appoint is as long as council approved.
and that's what this is. If
That's
they
all- that's
approve,
where
they
it
can,
goes.
Okay, my bad. All right, sorry.
we can pull it off and vote separately if you want to, but.
I move to accept it, or as read.
I'd
Sorry.
second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Okay, citizen comments this evening? Thank you. Fire department, Michael.
I don't have anything.
Okay. And the soup supper is Saturday night,
Yes.
right? What time does it start?
5.
5 o'clock at the station?
Yep.
I do have a question here a week or so ago. Here a week or so ago, how come the fire trucks was sitting out all day? I mean, like, for like 2 or 3 days in a row, it seemed like the fire trucks were sitting out.
It's probably when they're painting it.
Painting?
The county's painting up a new brush truck. I'd imagine so you didn't get overspray on the other.
Yep.
Yeah, I stopped in and talked to them one day, and they were just working on that big army truck.
And they're using that to paint in the fire station? Okay. Is there any questions for Michael this evening? Okay, thank you, Michael. Okay, police department,
Yes, request a 15-minute executive session for council, mayor, and legal.
Second.
What is your,
Personnel.
personnel?
You could also call it attorney-client, I believe, under
and did you need John in there or not?
I don't think so,
Okay.
unless he does.
You need John?
If you've got those, something to go.
I can get him. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Wait a minute.
I don't have motions. He
Troy
just
made
called
the
for
motion.
one.
Who
I
seconded?
second it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear anything. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
For executive session.
How long was that again?
15.
Last thing I saw. Or left a little copy. That's all I'm thinking.
By my hands. Good.
I don't have any executive sessions in my house.
Call our meeting back to order.
Say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and go on.
That takes care of that.
Okay.
How high? Is that what you do?
Okay, number one. Are we going back to number one, or we call for another executive session and go, or go back into executive session with Adam?
Oh, I'll move to hire Aaron Rudy for the sergeant, offer the job to our Aaron Rudy for sergeant position with 50-cent raise.
Second.
Okay, is there any more discussion?
Has this been discussed before?
Well, I think it was discussed in last meetings, I was not here.
It was?
Was you not here?
No, I think I was here.
Well, look at your minutes.
Roll call. Let's look at minutes. Buddy. I think
Well, I don't
you did
remember
some-
that.
You did some
That's all right.
You
second,
remember that
Bobby
father
made a
time
motion,
statement I
Yeah,
said? It may
yeah,
be slipping
yeah.
up on you.
so you made a motion,
I did?
yeah, look at your
Okay.
minutes. Is there any more discussion? Do you want to discuss anything, Bobby?
No, I don't guess so. What's he making now? We need to go into executive session or what?
No,
For that, for,
not that I know of.
Not to do
We
hiring.
discussed it last meeting.
You have to
executive
hire in, you have to hire in open session.
Yes.
Okay.
okay, there's a motion on the table, Mark seconded it, is there any more discussion about it? Okay,
Aaron,
Wait,
we need to.
I have discussion.
okay,
Did you guys look at his salary and really look at it?
have you guys
You
discussed
really
this?
discussed this last time.
Amy, I don't remember. Honest to God, I do not remember.
Okay, that's fine, so,
Does anybody?
From the last time, yes.
I know,
We discussed
I know
it
what
in
we did,
executive
we've
session.
done in the past.
well, now,
We
wait a
discussed
minute. I know, but I wasn't here for 2 meetings in a row, so I can't help any of you answer anything. I know you had a lot of executive sessions, nothing has been discussed with me.
Or me? I wasn't updated on any of it either.
Okay, so do we need to, okay, there's a motion on the table though. I guess I can take a vote.
Yeah, I'm not withdrawing my motion.
So we do need to vote if we're done with discussion.
He can either accept or
Well,
decline.
well,
You guys haven't,
and the motion might
That's
die
right.
as well,
That's
so.
right.
well, no, we have a second, so.
Right, true, I mean the vote, you get what I'm saying,
Okay.
excuse me. Okay. All those in favor, do you want to still discuss before I call for a vote?
I guess I would like more information from, I mean, I wasn't here last meeting.
It might be fair to bring her up to speed since she wasn't here. So, I mean, it's just,
Hold the motion and do it. Small
Okay.
executive
Table-
session for
table-
5 minutes.
Well, you could just vote it down and then you could remake the motion.
That's what I was gonna, yeah. I mean, it's only fair
Okay.
to let Amy know. And
You ready to
myself.
vote then?
Okay. All those in favor say aye,
Aye.
all those opposed say no.
no.
Okay, now you can do whatever you need to discuss.
So, do you need to call for an executive session, Amy?
Why don't you, if you're gonna talk to Adam about, what you wanna talk to Adam about, why don't you include this discussion in that same executive session? I know we can continue doing stuff.
Let's just do one and get her up
Okay.
to speed.
Okay.
I'll make a motion for a 5-minute executive session to bring Amy up to speed. What I can do.
And you- and you
I'm looking at the
Wait a minute, time out. Is it only Amy up to speed, and what about
Me.
Jill and Bobby?
Me too.
Okay, 5-minute executive session for non-elected personnel.
I'm gonna read this.
And I hope for goodness sakes none of this was put on YouTube.
It's a deal's in there.
Did you hear me,
Actual
Carrie?
figure.
Do not put this on YouTube.
Where does it say anywhere that we talked about what you're talking about?
Could I have a second?
Second.
We don't put executive sessions
No,
in
we
the
don't
minutes.
now.
Yeah, it's not in the
Who
minutes.
was the
All those
second?
in, Troy second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Okay. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to offer Adam the sergeant position. Aaron, sorry, with a 50% raise and a 6-month review pending another raise.
Second.
Is there any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Erin, do you accept it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, number 2, Adam?
What, do you want it in executive session or open?
We can do it in open for 3.
You gonna talk, you gonna do anything about the other lane first, or you gonna do that after?
I thought we had decided to go into executive session with Adam,
After that one, okay, my bad.
so
Okay,
I'll
so,
move for a 15-minute executive session to include council, mayor, Dawn, and Adam.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no, thank you. Okay, Adam. Go ahead with the officers.
Just wanna know if we are gonna stick with 3 or we're higher 4.
I kind of got them in the wrong corner. Did you want to look at this too? Okay, I just went off of my spreadsheet that I use for our budget each year for the police department. And on the front page, this is for 10 months of 2012 with the 3-man department. This is what our expenses are. You can see across the top what the salaries are, and at which point that they may have had a raise, so it increased the salary. So then you have your FICA, papers, medical, co-insurance on medical, and unemployment. So your total amount that you're, for each officer, and then total amount for the department down below. Your overtime and standby are on the bottom part, next to the last line. And then on the next page, you can see this shows the hours that were worked, where it says hourly. That 47 means that it was more than, it was overtime hours, but they had had leave time before, so they get paid regular rate. The overtime hours that are listed are actual overtime hours that were worked over 40 hours in the pay period, or in a week's period. The next sheet is 2010 with a full 4-man department. And I went back to 2010 because in 2011 we didn't have Sunny on the beat much, so it wasn't as good a representation because of the scheduling. And it shows your 4-man department and the overtime and standby down at the bottom, and the same on the next page, showing the hourly and the overtime. On the second page of each scenario, I do have an average per month for those. Instead of just looking at 12 months and 10 months, it's a little harder, so I showed averages down at the bottom where I had worked it written out.
So if I'm reading right, it's basically double the average as far as overtime.
For a 3-man crew.
With 4, you've got 20, and then with 3, you've got 42.6.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
But it looks like to me, it's a lot cheaper to run a
3-man crew.
3-man crew than it is a 4-man crew as far as total dollars.
If you're looking just at dollars, yes.
Yeah, you have healthcare of another man that's not in this paper.
Well, yeah, it's showing his, I have
Yeah, it's
medical
showing
right
up
here. And so that's reflecting in your bottom dollar, clear over on the right-hand side of both.
co-insurance.
Well, I feel like, with a three-man force, we are basically working them overtime and running them ragged, or we can pay a fourth man to come in. I mean, you're basically spending the same.
No, you're spending 50,000 more. Actually, 42,000 more.
When you look at
If
the,
you bring the other man on, it's gonna cost another $42,000 a year.
I would say one thing to consider though is, you've got three guys who are eligible and should be able to take their holiday pay and, or holiday time and vacation time, and you guys will have to figure out how you're gonna cover, how much you wanna cover, I guess, so that they can do that.
and if Adam is a salaried employee, is that a 40-hour work week?
No. Whenever he's needed.
And then some.
It's full-time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
It's, when you look at my pay stub, it's based on 86.67 hours every pay period. In the pay period, we get paid on the 5th and the 20th. And the 86 comes out to however many
2,080
80 hours a year.
per year.
Because we don't do weekly like the
Right,
city guys do and stuff like that. So basically it is,
a 40-hour work week.
yeah.
Yeah. So your overtime's gonna fall on your other two officers, more or less. Which isn't gonna work.
Yeah, but I'm still working the overtime. I'm just not getting paid for it.
Right now,
Right.
yeah.
When you did your cost deal here for the three-man crew, is that only figuring 2 guys as overtime, or is that figuring 3 guys as overtime?
This is, so far this year, 10 months, and we had 3 guys that were being paid overtime.
So this overtime figure actually, if you were on a true three-man crew, would be way less than this. Because you're only paying 2 men overtime instead of 3 men.
Possibly.
So that widens the gap even more.
It could, yeah, it could.
Okay, I guess I would like to hear from Aaron on how you feel about this. I don't wanna put you on the spot either, I mean, I kind of am, but, I mean, just, or Adam.
Well, let's start with when it started.
Okay.
After Matt left, our budget was a mess. We didn't know where we were on anything. One of the first things we did between the 3 of us as a department was to do everything we could to keep the overtime down. Okay? So while the overtime is down, it reflects on our commitment to the city on how much overtime we're willing to use. Okay? We scheduled our classes so that it worked on our days off. We sacrificed our days off to go to our mandatory 40 hours of training. Okay, that kept your overtime costs down. You're also not figuring with the 3 people what you're going to end up paying in health costs as we get more tired and more wore out and the health problems increase. I'm 40 years old. I'm no spring chicken anymore. You know, and eventually I'm going to be going to the doctor more than I do now. Okay, you got to figure that in. You also got to figure out the benefits that you give us for vacations and holidays, most of the time, in the 7 years I've been here, I've never been able to use all of my time, ever, okay? And right now, in order for us to take a vacation or holiday, one of the others of us ends up losing a day off, or ends up having our days off split, or ends up getting just one day off, so that we can do, you know, and if we didn't work as close together as we did, that would never work. But eventually, you can end up with low morale in your department. Low morale in your department is going to lead to more problems than, you know, we're willing to want to deal with. Does that help?
Yes,
Yes.
because that's exactly what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, I agree with him completely, of course. I mean, I think I've pretty well stated my position on it. My other position is, you know, as, I don't know how many myself hours of overtime, because of the fact that, you know, I'm in the office business hours Monday through Friday. Then when the other two guys want weekends off to do stuff, then I'm covering it. And with 3 officers, it's not worth it to me to work 2 weeks in a row and only get paid 40 hours a week. It's not. To work your days off and to work some 36 hours straight shifts like I've worked and only get paid for, that's not worth it to me. It's really not.
And I know we do have people complaining to me all the time, why don't you have 24-hour coverage?
And you're not gonna have it with a foreman. We never have 24-hour service, do we?
We have.
I thought we did with the foreman when we was having.
We
all
had
the
we had an officer doing a 4 to noon, which pretty much made somebody out all the time.
But again, by the time you get people going to class and taking
Yeah.
vacations and holidays, it's not gonna, it's, until, I think, Don, did you say it was 4.5 or 5.5 that you have to do true 24 hour nonstop coverage?
I think it's 4.5.
Well, that's what Stafford
Four-
is
four and a
working
part-time.
on, 4.5.
By the time you figure in the 2 weeks vacation each other get, and I think some of them increase after they've been here longer with the city too. I mean, that factor that in, because some of them might be eligible for 3 weeks.
I wouldn't know, 'cause like I said, I've never been able to take.
Well, I know. but
They
I'm
add a few, 2 hours every 5.
just, you know, so.
And that's another thing, you know, I mean, in the past, we've only been allowed to carry 5 over. So, you know, if we go to 3, are we just gonna have to eat that time? Are you guys gonna be willing to pay it out because we can't take it? I mean, that's gonna be another huge factor also.
I really feel like it's gonna be detrimental to our department in the long run if we axe a 4th position.
I agree. I think that if we continue to run our police department ragged like we're doing right now with just 3, I think that this is going to, I think this is just going to wear them out. It's going to cause health issues in the future. I mean,
Well, just burn out
exactly.
in general, I guess.
Any more discussion on it? You guys want to do more figuring or?
I think in a declining population, that we have plenty of coverage with 3 men, and there's some money there that, if things go well, it's almost 50,000 difference.
42,000.
42 right now, not depending on how the overtime was actually figured. It could be more, it could be that.
The job title, police department, is like no other job. It's probably the worst in the world for being out and on call and
I don't know, in your opinion, it might be the worst.
well, I'm just saying, I wouldn't want to do it.
But you don't.
That's right.
So you know, part of our responsibility as a city is to be a good employer too. And to keep our employees happy and healthy, and we want them to enjoy their job and not loathe it and not be resentful. I mean, you gotta work with them. And
I think we can do that, like you're saying, work with them, but stick with the three-man crew.
Well, can you explain how you're gonna, I mean, what does that entail?
We'll back off the hours of patrol to a certain degree
During the day.
But is that
at
what,
certain times.
is that what our community wants?
I don't think our community wants that. I've had, like Jill has said, she's had people come up to her complaining about 24-hour coverage. I've had people come up to me in the library and say, how come we're only running 3 people?
Because we can't afford it.
Oh, you know,
Why do you think we can't afford it?
really,
I'm just asking.
You just, it's all tax money and it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You just can't keep raising taxes.
We haven't.
Well, I'm told that the enrollment in the school is the highest this year it's been in a long time.
Yeah, it's up to.
So the population has come up just a little bit.
Yeah, I think saying we're in a declining population is a little,
The point I'm trying to make, Kevin, is
Off.
that you know, our calls have, the amount of calls that we get have gone down. We don't often get the little, we'll just call them petty calls that we used to get. But the violence of the calls that we get has gone up. I mean, I've responded to more domestics in the last 3 years than we had the 4 years prior to that. We've had four standoffs in the last 2 years. 5 years I started, we'd never had any. You know, when you're tired a lot or you end up having to work straight through, mistakes happen. You know, and like the job, the nature of the job itself, you're on hyper alert most of the time. That takes a huge toll on you, and having that fourth person gives you at least some stability in your life. You know that your days off are usually going to be the same all the time. You know, you're able to take your vacations, your holidays. And like I said earlier, we did everything we could to keep the costs of overtime down.
I don't
We've
think
always done
anybody
that.
has questioned that. I think, we appreciate that, and I don't think anyone's questioning the abuse of overtime or any.
Well, that's not what I mean. Had we not done that to keep the overtime down, the numbers wouldn't reflect what you're seeing.
True.
I think we all need to put ourselves in the officer's shoes and think how we would feel if we were being worked as much as they are without any real time off, without any way to have any downtime, any real downtime. I know I would start to feel resentful. My morale wouldn't be as great. Not everybody wants to do this job.
I do think it's hard to find good officers, but I don't think, we've always budgeted for 4. And I feel like our budget's in a pretty good spot. I don't think we're in dire straits.
Jonna, are we fine?
We're fine, I mean, especially this year because we have only paid 3-man crew through the whole year, so police department looks really well. But, you know, whatever we budget, you know, we've budgeted for 4 for next year. You've already taxed for that. Next year, when you get ready to do budget, this is the sheet I use, you know. I just need to know whether we're gonna have 3 on there or 4 on there. As far as I'm concerned, they do real well with watching their expenses, so.
I would like to see 4 officers.
Jill, or Donna, how come you come up with 20 hours overtime per month on a 4-man crew? There's 168 hours working in a week's time. That's 42 hours per man.
Well, if you look on that sheet that where I show the 20 hours of overtime, if you look up there where it says OT, overtime, and across is 241, if you divide that out by 12,
So that really should, I mean, should be only 5 hours overtime per person.
right.
per person. This is for the whole department.
Okay.
And I can't tell you by this spreadsheet or this report which officers work those. That was just for their department. That's the hours of overtime and hourly pay that was over because of either holiday or some leave time.
Yeah, but if you got a 4-man crew, you're only gonna have 8 hours a week overtime, split 4 ways.
I'm just going off of what we actually paid. That's what this report is.
It's not split 4 ways, it could be anyone. I mean, Aaron might have 10 hours of overtime and Charlie might only have 2.
Yeah, okay.
But I know where I see where you're coming from, but it's not gonna equal out.
There's some months or some times when they gotta have 2 hours, they got a domestic leave backup. I mean, there's gonna be sometimes when they call out and they have more overtime too. So.
And if you have somebody in training, then those are hours that they're gonna have, you know.
So what you're trying to say is, if you have 4-man crew, you still got too much overtime.
Yeah, stick with a 3-man crew, cut the hours.
Yeah. There you go.
You can still make a motion, Mark. Or Amy. It's whatever.
I know, but I do think it's important that we all are on are understanding
Right.
the job that these guys have to do. And, you know, if you don't understand the stress level they have, I mean, I know we all have stress with our jobs, but when you have a domestic violence call or some naked druggie running around, you know, you have no idea how these situations are gonna come out, and your stress level skyrockets. I mean, and then you get no downtime after that. I mean, it's that over and over and over again. And if these guys can't take vacation, if they can't work it to where they have a good life outside of the job, then how are we gonna expect them to always be on top of their game? I mean, I think it's so much more than dollars and cents here.
I think it's a lot more than just dollars and cents.
I still, like I said, I think there's ways around that that a guy can look at.
But how many of
I
us
would
are,
make a motion that we can table this till next time and have some other options looked at while we're going. That would be my motion right now.
okay, I agree with that, but let's actually do it. How are we gonna do that? Who's gonna do it?
I think we can have Dawn help us out on some of it, and Jonah can too.
Well,
But I mean, some of that we will need to discuss in executive session instead of open.
okay. But
Second.
There's still more discussion. Go ahead.
do we know of someone we can talk to about this? I mean, that's what I'm getting at, I guess.
Well, what I did at Stafford, I asked, when we had some issues over there on various things, I asked Joe Palazzo, who was the former city manager at Hutch, to come in and do an independent review and make his recommendations. I think this may be one of those situations where somebody from the outside could come in and give an objective opinion on it and give you some direction on it. And the Lord knows the guy had 37 years experience at Hutch. And he charged Stafford $50 an hour for his time plus travel expense out of Hutch. So, his hourly is really $100 an hour, but since it was a small town, and I think we probably, if I called him, he would probably help us out here too if you entertain that. But that way you've got somebody that has a lot of experience in managing police chiefs and police departments and fire departments, and somebody who's negotiated union contracts and this and that, and get some input from a professional. I have not done that, so I can't really give you a lot of objective information because I've not been in management, but he has been in management.
What, does that sound agreeable to you guys?
Don, does Stafford have a 24-hour production with 4 people? Police chief, retreat.
They have they have on-call time. It's a rotating call. They have 4 people, and I think they have a part-timer that comes in too. But it's a rolling, never rolling. They don't publicize when somebody's off duty or whatever. So. But there's times when they have on-call time, even with the 4-man department too.
And Adam and Aaron, would you be open to having Joe come in and evaluate?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, if this is about money, why do you want to pay a guy $50 an hour plus travel time if you don't want to pay for another officer? If this is really truly about money, that seems to be kind of a...
This is probably about a compromise, to work it out.
I don't, the only compromise I can see is a part-time officer, and I don't know where we're gonna get a part-time officer.
No, I don't think you can.
So it's either 3 or 4. I don't know how you can compromise without.
But it's also about educating the council as to how a police department works, and maybe helping us understand too.
My door's open every day. My phone's on 24 hours a day.
But just to bring someone from the outside in, too.
That's your guys' choice.
Right.
Really.
Joe does a good job.
Who is it?
Joe Palacio.
Well, could we amend the motion to,
We haven't actually voted on this yet,
Okay.
so,
okay,
so you can,
I was basically open to that. It was
Yeah.
to find out the information
yeah.
and to find out whether hours and other things like that, like you said, we don't necessarily understand. So,
so right now, we have a motion on the table to table 3 versus 4-man department till next meeting.
with having this, getting the information that we need from Joe or whatever, however you want to word it.
Who seconded it? Bobby, did you second
Kevin
it? Kevin did.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's opposed, say no. Thanks, council. Do you guys want to keep those? Are you gonna keep them, or you want to give back to Donna?
I would so like to keep it.
Okay. Okay, number 3, Adam.
A couple weeks ago, Aaron was going out into the county to back up one of the deputies on a domestic call, and the 2004 Dodge truck broke down on him. We took it to the shop. We're not exactly quite sure what's going on with it yet. They think that something got hot and basically shut it down, but essentially he was on his way there, and it didn't completely die, but he was only able to go about 30 miles an hour. We get this, again, it's 2004, it's got over 100,000 miles on it. We've had numerous problems with the truck. So I've got some figures here as far as new patrol car, not new, sorry, used.
What year is your Crown Vic?
2005, it's been 97,000 miles. Did you keep the one I gave you, John, or did you give me it back?
I'm sure I have it.
Okay. Anyway, there's a couple places. The Highway Patrol sells used patrol cars. That's where we bought the Crown Vic. The prices on the left, Crown Vic, Jimmy Charger V6 Tahoe, tells you the prices of those. I sat down with Jimmy Green, just trying to talk to somebody local. And for what we're looking at, he's said around $17,000 for something used with around the same mileage of what the Highway Patrol sells them for. And there is a company called Joe Ott Police Cars down in Oklahoma that sells used police cars. However, they all have either a salvage or rebuilt title on them because they buy them from all over the country that have minor damage wrecks, and then they rebuild them and resell them. The prices through Joe Watt basically mirror what the Highway Patrol does, with the exception of $50 to $100. So, you know, I'm sure this is going to go over like wet socks because of the discussion we've had before, but you know, it to me, when we are going to back up another officer and we can't make it there because our patrol car fails, we have some serious issues.
Okay. So, are we not able to fix what's wrong?
Well, we
now?
don't know what's wrong with it.
They don't exactly know what's going on with it yet.
Fishers are looking at it, right?
Fishers
Yeah.
have looked at it, and that was his best guess because after it cooled off, then it was running okay. But like I said, this is we've put, I don't know how many thousands of dollars in this truck with the front end problems we've had with it. I mean, like I said, it's got over 100,000 miles on it. I've discussed it with John. We have 11,000 in the budget, or with the potential for 15 after the carryover from this year, which shouldn't be a problem. Some of what's on here we can pay cash for because the money's already there, and above and beyond that is you're looking at 3% for financing. So.
So that answers your question, Mom.
Is there any problem with the Crown Vic?
Not right now.
He's talking about the Dodge.
Okay.
No, we've had pretty good luck with Crown Vic.
How many miles does it got on it?
Nice, almost 97,000.
What color is the GNS Explorer?
What he worded to me is there's no picking colors. If it's pink, it comes back pink.
Oh, it's not what he has.
Right.
No, this
goes
price,
and buys it.
I just went and sat down and said, you know, you know, because the truck is a four-wheel drive. You know, to replace it, it would be ideal to have either a truck or an SUV because of animal control and that kind of thing. So I just asked him, you know, for instance, a Ford Explorer with 50,000 miles, and he pulled his price sheet and they were going for around 17,000. A Chevy Tahoe, they're going in the lower to mid-20s. A Ford F-150 is lower to mid-20s. So really, I mean, I had good idea and intention of trying to keep it in town, but I don't, you know. And the Highway Patrol vehicles, for an extra $600, they will keep the light bar and the console. So there's a pretty, you know, you're looking at anywhere between $500 and $1,000 worth of cost savings there. Because with a new vehicle, we're going to have to put lights and stuff like that on it.
You guys want to check it out, or?
How long do you expect this to be in the shop?
It's out of the shop right
It's
now.
out, it's running.
Like I said, after it cooled off, it's running. It's just,
Okay,
it's gotten to the point where it's not dependent
right.
for emergency response, basically.
Well, have you taken it like to Marmies and had them, I mean, has it just been to,
Yeah, it's just been, and of course, we're, you know,
They have a computer system out there as well.
Troy worked at Dodge dealership before coming back home, so we're,
Right.
you know, we're obviously comfortable. But I mean, you know, have we gotten a second opinion? No.
just they might have seen something that, because of,
Right. It's just, it's, the truck has been nickeling and diming us for a while. So, you know, I'm trying to weigh, do we keep paying to see what's wrong with it and fix it?
True, and we've all had that with our vehicles, I'm sure. So, do you guys have an opinion? Kevin?
Table it.
Are these, how many of these Crown Vics is available?
You know, I couldn't tell you. They've got 2009, 2010, 2011. It just depends.
It changes all the time.
Yeah, because they sell to not only the police departments, to private people also. The only thing that I would say about the Crown Vic is they're not making them anymore. So it's going to get harder and harder to find parts.
I'd get one of them Hemi Chargers. The new.
If it was up to me, I would ask for a Tahoe to like I said, to replace the truck. There's plenty of room in the back for hauling dogs or whatever, but we need something dependable. So
You're replacing the truck.
yeah,
I wouldn't be in favor of buying a Tahoe. Getting a pickup or diesel.
well, nowhere else is selling pickups right now, and I came to you with used because in the past you guys told us that you wanted to buy used. So I'm looking at used. You know, we could go out and buy a brand new through the way they do the leasing and stuff for governmental agencies. We could buy a brand new Ford truck or whatever for what you can buy a couple-year-old used one.
What's your oldest pickup now?
You know, we've got, that we drive all the time, it's a 2000. We've got like a 98, which was our old passenger truck, but 2000 is
It's 3/4 ton. I thought that was our deal when we started getting pickups, so you could pass it down to the water department.
This isn't the water department. This is the
It takes
fixer.
too long to rig one up. I just buy new one. Like we did last time. When it dies, I do it.
We didn't buy a new one last time. We bought used.
That red, white Dodge?
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah,
new.
it was
Yeah, I'm
new.
sorry. Yeah, the ground. Yeah, it was new.
Yeah.
What year is it?
04.
Oh, four?
It's over 100,000. All my 04s have over 100,000. I don't know.
That had a new
I'm
motor.
not really in favor of buying a new vehicle until we find out what's wrong with the old one.
That motor was put in here about 2 years ago, wasn't it?
No, sir.
New motor?
No,
That
would have
was
been
right
in
when I started, so it would have been,
2005.
yeah.
And it wasn't it wasn't a completely new motor. It was just a short block to get the junk out of the inside and replace rods and cam and crank and all that.
They didn't redo the heads when they did that? They just took them off, put them back on?
I couldn't tell you that. I'm not the mechanic who worked on it.
Okay, so I guess, get a second opinion on the truck? Take it up to Marmies, or where do you want?
Was you in a chase when this all happened?
No, I was behind the deputy, following him to the call.
How fast was you running?
How fast was I running? Staying up with him, I was probably doing 85.
And how long?
For how long? From 4th and 281 to K19. Just short of K19.
11 miles.
Yeah.
Had the water been checked that day?
Had the No, I can't say that I checked the water that day.
I think
It
we
did
need
get
to,
hot on you though, Aaron. It did.
No, there was no sign to it whatsoever.
Okay.
It just, power suddenly was down. I pulled to the side of the road, called dispatch, told them to have Barton County get a deputy sent to back up the deputy, and then waited for it to start back up. It never got hot, never showed that it was hot.
Well, I thought Fisher said it got shut off and shut down.
That's what he,
He thought
That's
that
the
there
only
was
thing he
something,
could figure.
something that got hot, maybe not the motor, it could have been,
So I was wondering about transmission. It kept on going though?
yeah, it just lost power.
Just lost power.
Yeah.
See, that's what happened to me on
I had the same thing.
135 with our Ford pickup.
So my Dodge did
Rush
for
hour.
a year and a half, I found out it was a catalytic
And I
converter.
lost all power. I mean, it just was, it went to nothing.
Yeah, my Dodge was doing
And
that,
it
when
was the
finally
transmission.
cut the catalytic converter, I was putting a new one on, it did all that. Crazy.
So, okay, I guess get a second opinion. Take it to Marmies. You guys agree? Take it to
Yes.
Marmies?
Yep.
Okay. Take it to Marmies and give them the scoop on it. Let Fishers know that that's what you're gonna do, and we'll go from there, guys.
Okay.
Please keep your information on this, guys, please. Donna?
I'm just saying that's consensus of council.
Yes. Okay, police chief report.
don't have anything else.
Halloween went okay?
Halloween went great.
Halloween went great,
You had probably.
Got some of your pumpkins.
You had probably a dozen pumpkins that were on the street before 9 o'clock, and by 9 or 9:30 it was,
But I think some of them pumpkins was out before Halloween as well too, on football night, Tuesday night.
Well, I don't remember that.
Okay.
But I know the ones that I saw later on were that night.
Is that your fourth piece of gum?
we didn't have any houses or anything burned down like that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Thing I had, I don't have, so
Okay, all right, well, thank you
lasts a little
guys.
longer than I did.
All right, administration, Melvin.
Okay, first thing we have is siren bids. We got, grants for sirens, and I sent out.
Got it. Scissors,
We had 4 bids come in, we need to have at least 3. This is through the USDA Rural Development. I haven't seen any of these other than
We'll open
Who
these.
is this?
this is ATI.
We're gonna open these bids, guys, council, and then we do not take the bid, but we will recommend the bid that you guys want to choose to USDA Rural Development for approval. They have to approve it.
Okay.
What was the amount of grant?
You guys wanted to buy 3 sirens, and we got, $9,700 some,
Yeah.
basically, to buy.
How much was that?
One siren,
How much was that?
9,000,
I don't know, it's been.
$9,700 some.
That's fine, that's all I need to know.
Oh, my.
That's not a
Okay,
good way to start out.
No, it's fine.
It's been a long
I
night.
gotta get
Yeah.
focused here.
Your glasses ain't good enough, are they?
Okay,
There's some readers, and I'll put those
Okay,
on.
30.
On top of the ones.
This would be for 3,000, or for 3 sirens, if I'm reading this right, $30,076.
All of them are gonna be for 3 sirens, right?
Yes. And like I say, without going through all of this here, and what the USDA wants, they want to kind of qualify what they presented here to make sure it's.
And I know you just opened it too, but there's nothing like service agreements or something else that's gonna be different from
No.
one bid to
No,
the
we
next.
did
This is
not
just like
solicit
equipment
that.
only.
Yeah, this is equipment only,
Okay.
and we're gonna install them, and these will be battery operated off a battery, so they'll if we lose power before the tornado gets here.
Well, I just want to make sure we were comparing
Yes,
Apples
apples
to
to apples.
until the bid specs were given to them all the same, whether they followed that, and,
That's what USDA will
yeah,
look
they'll
at.
kind of.
Okay, well, I just didn't want to have somebody bid come in cheaper and then find out it's because there was some service agreement that wasn't on
They
that.
really won't know that we really, get down and study, and we go by the bottom line for it.
There's 21 on either.
If it's faster than you're gonna look.
I think it was. Play like a Christmas
Open that present, Bill, come on.
Just rip her open the door.
Because it's
Oh,
bigger.
good grief.
Come on. Here, throw a couple cherries. Sure you can have it, no, just kidding.
Okay, Blue Valley Public Safety. Total of all options. And I asked them to provide an estimated shipping cost, and we need to make sure that didn't include that. This is separate, $22,526.
That's with the shipping?
That's not with the shipping.
What's shipping?
With shipping, I brought it up to $25,702.24.
Say that again, please.
$25,702.24.
And also, these sirens from all three companies basically cover the same distances and there's no
supposed to
difference
be
there.
output of up to 120 decibels at 100 feet is what the specs call for. And until we actually go through, this is what was asked of us.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
This one here provides 1,600 watts of audio power.
So we'll have to figure out how that.
Okay. Now what's that tell me?
Did that first one have anything on there shipping?
Yes, sir. 1,800 bucks.
Now, was that before the 20?
No, it says the total of, at the very bottom is 30,000 something.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
but-
$30,076.
Yeah, but we don't want to include the shipping in there.
So was that including the shipping?
Yeah.
So what was?
You don't want to include the shipping for the grant?
See it.
Right, that was just for equipment only.
Oh.
What's the
So
bid?
that's still 2,800
$2,000.
or $28,096. No, it'd be more than that. 28,296.
That's only an estimate of 1,800 for shipping, so
Right. So we need to take,
probably estimate, take 30,000, I'll take 1,800 off that 30,000, go minus.
28,296.
okay, this is from JNet. This is a company that, they wanted to come to town to do a little demo for us, Jill and Amy and Kevin. This is an air-powered siren. It's rather than battery backup, which isn't according to specs, but that they want to offer it. And there was a company that was given to me by the USDA that we could solicit a bid from, so. But anyway,
Go ahead.
okay, $48,900.
Wow.
This one here has that air backup if the electricity gets knocked out.
It runs off air all the time, actually, but it's a
Yeah, sure.
storage
But all the ones we have battery backup, don't they? All the ones you just priced.
All those run off batteries, right, but this one that he demonstrated, the air tank is full all the time, and if power goes out, it operates off of air.
Yeah.
So it isn't really true operating off of a battery backup system per the specs, but it is a standalone unit if the power supply.
How does it get filled with air? Does it have its own air compressor?
It has an air compressor, but you know, if you lose power and you have to set it off, it operates off a radio, just like all of these, and it's got a car battery that's on, charged up. It receives the signal, opens the solenoid, and lets the air out. So that's its backup power.
How large is the tank?
400 gallons.
Is it big?
400 gallons. It'll provide 30 minutes of continuous. It's like a big set of air horns, basically.
Right.
And it did have a
What kind
different
of shipping?
tone.
Huh?
What was the shipping on it?
I didn't.
It did have a different tone to it.
Than what we have now?
No, yeah,
Okay.
when you let it off.
Like a trumpet.
Yeah, something, it sounded, it just sounded different.
It's a little.
Of course, it looked like it had bicycle horns. Well,
I would definitely wanna hear it.
Total shipping estimate.
Yeah.
Total shipping estimate, $2,970.
Well, being so there's 20,000 iron, anybody else, I don't even know why we're sitting here talking about it.
Oak City has one, is that what he said now, Melvin?
I can't remember what night that was. One more.
Superintendent friendly.
Did you say a guy was coming tonight?
Yeah, it is Josh. Okay, this is from Storm Siren Incorporated. Okay, I asked them to price them individually, and I'll find this out. Each price each is $9,750.
Right at 30,000 bucks.
Is there any,
Oh, complete and delivered.
is there any other based out of Kansas?
No. This last one's from Oklahoma. The Blue Valley is from Missouri. Oh yes, the JNet is from Wichita, the air one. And ATI is out back east, Massachusetts or something like that.
Providing everything's equal, like you say, I'd make the motion to go with Blue Valley.
We don't get to.
Well,
We can recommend.
Yeah, we can recommend, yeah.
Right.
Which one's Blue Valley?
22,526.
And like I say,
I mean, if it's, everything's equal, why wouldn't you go the cheapest?
right, and that's what USDA would go with. But after you go through all this documentation, you may see something in there, or they may see something that isn't really the same thing that what the specs call for. So that's,
So will they come back to you and say, this is what we recommend?
I'm gonna go through this myself and see if I have any questions, I'm gonna call the company, and then I will forward it to USDA, and they'll look at it, and they basically wanna look at what they're doing.
So it's okay to get this done.
So is there a motion that we need to make
I
now, or
would
we
just say,
wait?
I would say the council recommendation is to go with this one right now, so.
I would make a motion that we recommend going with Blue Valley for 22,526 plus whatever it is for freight, up to 2572.
You need a motion or just consensus?
motion, so it's fine.
Yeah. You second it, Bobby? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Thank you.
Next item I had, power plant equipment testing, or last time we had a discussion on that. I did get a price from Caterpillar on doing the CAT testing, and their price was $1,520.90.
$1,520.90.
That will take care of all the engines as far as the testing. The only thing we have left to do is the testing on the generators, and that's only, and relays and windings in the generator, that's only done every 3 years. So that's from mid-stage, and that's $4,643. Now, that will go, next time we have that done, that will be less, about a little over $1,000 less, because they're going to install some switches on the cap that will let us, that will be able to do it a lot quicker. So we'll pay the extra this time, but next time we'll save $1,190. So, but I think
Did you find out too if there was, when you were talking to them, what we can do the next time too?
the Caterpillar, I question how much. I mean, well, we've watched we've already had X-Line here to do the Cooper, and we've had the NGNO here with Circle J to do the Fairbanks Morris, and we took notes, and I can't say we can do 100%, but we're going to make a big deal. Yeah, we've learned a lot, documented pictures, and a lot of this we can do. So on the shutdowns and stuff like that.
And when we do it, it's still a legal test or whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
They just want it done, we'll have to document it.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so anyway, the mid-states will not be able to do the work until next year, but we've been contacted with the insurance company. They've got the power plant insurance, and I want to know where we're at on this. So we've encumbered the $13,000, and we should be able to do, I think we did pretty well time-wise on the engine so far, so we should be able to get that within this amount. So if we can get this approved and everything, out of this encumbrance, which we already have, then we can send a letter to the insurance company and say everything's going to be taken care of. Only thing is, mid-states won't be able to do their work until January, February, and I'm sure that'll be fine.
And that coverage will include that amount for this?
Yes, all that. I feel like we should just be able to get it all done.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept it. The bid to do it as Mel stated.
Second. More discussion?
That is, when does that have to be done now? By next year?
Well, they want it done as soon as possible, naturally. We'll be able to get the Caterpillar done within the next 2 weeks, and they're going to be here to finish up on the Cooper tomorrow. So the only thing we're going to be lacking after the first of the year is the testing on the generators and the relays and stuff like that. So as long as we that we're going to be doing it, that'll satisfy them. You know, as long as we have it scheduled, like the council approval to be done, that's fine.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Thank you.
I don't have anything else to report, but I did at the beginning ask a question, a 10-minute executive session for non-elected personnel. Myself, John, and Don, Mayor, and council.
How many minutes?
10, surprise.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
I make a motion for pay raise as per supervisor's recommendation for
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Is there any questions for Mel this evening? Thanks, Mel. Fun.
Are we gonna do that executive session now?
Yeah.
We need acquisition of real estate. We're talking about what we talked about the other night. How much time do you think you're gonna need for that? I have no idea. I've got about a 2-minute report to give you, and after that, you guys got to decide.
I'd say 10 minutes.
I mean, like, total votes we got.
So we need a motion,
Yes,
yes, 10-minute executive session, no, 15-minute executive session.
I hope it spreads out further
10
back.
minute,
With his 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, 10
10
minutes.
minute total.
For acquisition of real estate to include the council, Don, do we need Mel?
Mel and probably John.
Jonna?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Thank you.
I do have one thing that, if you watched the governor's announcement on property taxes within the last 2 weeks,
John, I missed.
you might want to go to lkm.org.
I got ahead of it.
Wait a second, go to what?
lkm.org, and they have written a paper on the effect of this on cities. So if you have any interest in what the league's position will be and how this property tax proposal by the governor will affect all cities, then you should go there and read it and get their white paper on the effect of this, because it will affect everybody. Okay, that's all I have to say. Good night.
Night, Don.
Thank you, Don.
Careful going home, thank you. Administration, Joanna. Hurry up.
Okay, first thing that I have is, and that was in your packets, the website proposals that you asked for. Gave you several different ones that had come in. It was advertised. I have put together kind of a summary for all of them, so it's a little easier to look at just.
I'm gonna excuse myself from any discussion on that. Conflict of interest.
She don't need to.
Yeah, she did earlier.
Oh, that's true. Okay. You excuse yourself there, Mika. You're not leaving them.
Been out the door.
I don't know if you had time to go look at any of the websites that they referenced.
Yeah, I had a chance to look at all of them today. Some pretty impressive ones.
I
Yeah,
don't
there are
care
quite a
either
few
way,
differences.
one way or
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you do, Bobby. You care because it's the way they're gonna present our city on the internet.
I don't mess with it.
Okay, is this something we need to decide tonight?
I will say that next council meeting, I probably won't be here because my mom's having surgery that day. So, I mean, anything that I could do ahead of time, I will, but I won't be here for a discussion. Unless you want me to come in by cell phone or something like that.
Well,
Mark, what did you see that you, I mean,
Well,
I will say the ID group, I believe is the one, they are the ones doing the county website. And it looks like we'll be employing Ron Colbert and someone else, Erica Fansher. Patricia Pearson is Roger's,
Daughter.
no,
Oh.
sister.
Oh, okay.
that's Pam, isn't it? Anyway, I don't know for sure. But it's just her sister.
Well, I
Could be a
don't,
sister-in-law, I don't know.
okay, maybe this is somebody different. I was under the impression the gal doing this county website was the same person, so.
It is.
Okay, so maybe,
So anyways,
anyway,
she's not too far from us.
what I'm getting
Well,
at
she lives in
is,
Kansas
there is a
City.
link on that website that when you click on City of St. John, it takes it directly to our website. That might be convenient for us to have the same person on the same website. Plus, she has local contacts. But I have not been out to look at the others. I've just seen what I've seen in.
I've been on Greensburg's quite a bit when we were trying to look at the water project and some
Uh-huh.
other things. And I really like that website, but
And who's the one
that's
doing
a
that?
Spinnaker.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I have not.
And they've got a bunch of towns already that they're doing.
Okay.
Spinnaker and Municipal CMS are, they do government websites. I mean,
Oh.
they're more specialized in that.
Then that might.
I was gonna say, my motion would have been for Spinnaker. I mean,
Okay.
from what I looked at, but like I said, that'd be
Well,
my,
I don't mind doing that either. Yeah, that was the only thing I knew about this other. I wasn't familiar.
I would think that anybody that, that we have here, we can add, links to other things going on in our
Right.
county as well as our city, to the school, to the library, to the county. I mean, we can add links anywhere
Oh, yeah.
on any of those.
No,
So-
that's, yeah, I
Okay.
understand that, but,
She just thought it would be easier if someone was looking at the
I see.
county website and hit St. John.
Mhm.
Am I right, Amy?
yeah,
Okay.
no, I am good with, I really have not gone out and researched this a lot.
And I did not either.
I haven't looked at much other than Greensburg, but I like their website. I mean,
Greensburg does have a good website, and some of the other things that all of these companies have put together, they look really well done on a lot of them. Everything that they've presented is pretty much, it may be worded slightly different, but they're pretty much offering the same thing. I don't know if anybody wants to take a look at what I've got here. This is just my notes. I don't know if it'll make any sense to anybody. If you want to take a look at that, I made some copies just in case. This is just what I've got on this.
Wait,
John, your number's pretty much one side of what I've got on mine, but this is all I've come up with, and then I've made some notes on the side right here. I did have a chance to chat with John earlier today regarding what Ron Colbert was charging us. The one thing that I was confused about with Laura's bid, she had a base salary of $400, and then she said 5 hours a week at $20 per hour. Multiply that by 52, that turns out to be $5,200. So that had me.
And that is ongoing. That will be an expense that would be that way every year.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why I put it under recurring annual fee, yearly and so forth. So.
And basically what she was trying to do was offer another option so that, you know, there would be no staff time. She would be the staff person contracted to do that. I don't think it's necessary to go spending that kind of money. If we're gonna get another staff person, we would have them doing other things than the website.
Right.
It's my opinion.
Like I said, and I guess it wouldn't really bother me one way or the other, but that Spinnaker, that municipal CMS, but like I said, I didn't look at anything other than Greensburg, so I guess I didn't research it a lot, but I did like what I
I
seen.
will
in
say on
Greensburg.
Spinnaker and Municipal CMS, on their sites, there are a few things that they offer that, like I said, is more specific to cities, in the fact that we can do, people can sign up for alerts. You know, you can put down different kinds of alerts, and they can sign up, and we can, we can do a mass alert to whoever has signed up for, if they want to know when the agenda's up. You know, if they've signed up for that, when the agenda goes up, they get an email or something.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. I I mean, if we're doing.
Spinnaker does that too, you said?
Yeah, Spinnaker
Because I was just
and-
saying minutes and everything was on there.
Oh, yeah.
Greensburg's is all on there. so.
And their code, I mean, it's,
I'd make a motion to just, I'll make a motion to go with the Spinnaker.
We're talking about saving a lot of money here and there, and, you know, you look at, okay, I don't have a problem with Spinnaker, but you look at Spinnaker, you know, and you're looking at $1,000 on a recurring annual fee on that. You know, you're,
and it, did you look at what that includes?
yes.
Okay.
The other one, you're paying $35 an hour, which you have no idea how many hours they're gonna do or anything else, so at least you have your maximums this way.
And that includes all the updates and everything that
Right.
would take place,
Right.
as far as software.
Where the other way, you're gonna end up paying him the $35 an hour and everything else.
Well, you know,
That's why I said I'd just soon go with this.
Well, one of the
Go
things,
with one
you know,
of the ones that are
one of the
actually
things that really, you know, with this whole thing, I mean, we were paying Ron $300, you know, a year for this, you know, and now we're gonna go and we're gonna be spending a heck of a lot more, you know, that's,
But we were probably getting what we paid for. So, I'll second the motion.
Is it, are you gonna really accrue any money out of this?
You would probably be surprised, Bobby, what, we're not, you would probably be really surprised how many people go to websites and look at cities.
There's
I mean,
like three different kinds of groups of people that a website is for. One is for your current customers or residents, so they can get information easily, they can go out and get the forms for applications or whatever. Then there's those who might visit, so you need you have it set up so your visitors can find what the information is that they're looking for that will draw people to town. And then the third person is those who might be looking to move here, you know, or relocate. So those three groups is kind of where it gears towards.
Greensburg can go on like water rates, electric rates, everything. I mean,
I think even one of them, I can't remember which one, even had something about, where people could pay their city bill,
oh, yeah.
so.
We didn't, that wasn't in the proposal as far as them being able to.
No, but that was on one of the websites that I
Right.
looked at, I mean.
One of the bigger cities that they probably
Right.
paid, that's a high dollar item. Actually, Spinnaker, it was very difficult for me to put together a request for proposal, knowing so little about the technology of websites. So once I had what I thought was good, I had already visited with the guy from Spinnaker from the bids that he had sent earlier. And I sent that to him to make sure that I didn't have anything that was a high dollar item, you know, because like to interface with our utility billing where somebody could look up their account like you can Verizon or a big company, that's a $30,000 bid, you know. So he helped me to make sure that I didn't have some kind of language in there that was gonna draw a higher bid up.
Right.
But we can put our website on where people can go to pay it by credit card, you know, so they can do it link it right from our website. So it's not integrated into our system, but they still have the options to be able to pay online by going to the credit card company that we use. That's something maybe later down the line, if it gets cheaper or something, we could add in. But, you know, I didn't have a
There is a
proposal.
motion on the table.
Yes. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Bobby, would you vote?
I'm gonna stop there when you vote, I don't have a clue. I don't know what the website is. Anymore.
No, I think we have to vote one way or another.
Well, no vote's a yes vote.
Say one or the other, Bobby.
By all government rules, a no vote's a yes vote.
So we
So-
have it tied.
Do what? No, it's 3-1.
Yes, these two voted yes.
Oh, okay.
Are you voting yes, Bobby?
I don't, I honestly, God, I don't have enough knowledge to vote. You know, looks like an awful lot of money for what it justifies, I don't know.
Well, we can try it. We can try for 1 year and if, or, you know, give them a chance and
Or
if
we
we
could
don't
have them come and give us proposals. It says right here that they'll come and do that.
show us what they're gonna do and, you know, and give them a year and if we don't like it, we don't have to stick with them, am I right?
I don't know about that. I don't know what their contracts are like.
They actually have the contract of what you're committed to.
But for how long?
I think basically it might be 2 years, I don't know. We could, but we can change any of the contracts that we would make with any of these companies. You know, we can be set for any amount of time. But you're gonna pay the design fees,
Right.
whether you're with them 1 year or if you're with them 10 years.
Well, we had a
So-
vote.
Vote.
Yeah, I mean, we have a vote.
If he's not voting, that becomes,
Well, he didn't vote, so.
Bobby, vote yes or no, please.
He won't,
okay.
I think.
Well,
If you're looking at the numbers, you know, look at it that way.
What are you wanting to do?
He said no.
And I said no.
Well, I was gonna say, we've had a vote, whether anybody's not, he no voted, so it's gonna be a yes vote. And if we start this where we can change everybody's mind, it's really not a vote, so let's
That's right.
stick with the
All
original
right.
vote and roll on.
So it's
I
a
mean-
3-1.
Yeah.
We don't wanna start a whole trend here where I don't like the answer you get, so I sit here and haggle you until you get the answer that I want.
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so next,
Kevin can come in.
yes.
Dollar General, stay open so I can get some eggs.
Oh,
Carla,
I got rid of my chicken, so I think I'm not
He's nowhere. I don't
I
see
knew
him.
it, I was gonna say.
Okay, well, the only thing else that I have is just a report that the health profiles went out to all the employees. They've been brought in and they've been sent to, I did go ahead and send them to Blue Cross again to make sure that they can give us their best dollar. And then to the gal that was here, can't remember her name. So it'll,
They haven't got back with you on
No.
anything?
and it did take, I'll be fair to say, it took most of that 2 weeks since the last meeting to get all of that in and back
Okay.
to us, out and back to us.
Okay.
So they haven't had them very long.
okay. If that's everything, I'm gonna adjourn.
Can I say one thing?
Oh.
Okay, and like I say, this is the way you get into on this stuff when you go through these just across the table. I've already looked at this one, this Blue Valley. They gave us several options on some other sirens, and I think I've nailed it down that this is actually what it was, the bid is, and it's $25,526, which they're still cheaper than everyone else, but it really wasn't the numbers. So I think it's gonna be fine, and I may change my mind after I go through this, but I guess we didn't vote on it, we just recommended, and
Right.
they're gonna have the final say, so I just wanted to make sure that, I think that's the way it's gonna be.
Second.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Thanks, guys.